Cloud. All right, we are getting ready, closing up that screen, opening up our podcast screen, and we are getting ready. So, what's up? What's up? What is up? It's the girl, Dr. Allie Griffith, and welcome to the Dr. Allie Griffith Show. Mindset, meditation, and motivation. And I'm so excited to have you here with me today as we finally tie in from the unsubscribing from negativity and now moving towards subscribing to positivity. So I want to remind you that now is a chance for you to leave your reviews for me. I'm going to need you to listen to some of the other podcasts, or if you've listened before, take some time out and leave a review. I am putting together an amazing prize package where I'm going to pull a few of the reviews. And first, I'm going to read some of them in the next podcast that I record so that I can let you guys know that I'm seeing your reviews. So everyone definitely leave your reviews so that you can get the option of me mentioning it or just letting you know how I'm so grateful that you poured into that. So definitely do that first. And I'm also running a contest where I'm going to enter your name into a box or a hidden box. And you have 3 gifts, 3 amazing gifts you can win. You can either get the grand prize, which is a gift certificate or a gift card. And the second prize is going to be an autism watch. It's super dope, really, really cool. And the third will be an Aumazing t-shirt, similar to this, whether it's say Be Aumazing or Aumazing gift. So really cool prizes. Enter your name or leave your reviews. When you leave your reviews, that's your automatic entry into the contest. So let's talk about subscribing to positivity. On the last podcast, I gave some examples of why was it so important for me to unsubscribe from the negativity around me. I got so tired that everywhere I looked, every place I went to, it just seemed like it was just crowded with negativity. It was crowded with, the bad news. It was crowded with people thinking the worst out of the worst. And for me, it got kind of frustrating because here I am as an autism mom. I already have this challenge that I'm dealing with where I don't know how he's going to be when he comes home, from school, or when he wakes up in the morning. I'm not sure exactly what responses I'm going to get for the day with communication breakdowns or whatever's going to happen for that day. And dealing with my own challenges and then coming out to the world or going around to people in the world and constantly being bombarded by negativity. It got so frustrated, and I started to realize it was affecting my parenting. It was affecting my parenting. It was affecting how I engage with my friends. And honestly, it was just a place where I did not want to be in anymore. So I used some of the strategies, which go back and listen, and you'll hear some more about what it takes or what you can start to do to unsubscribe from negativity. But then I couldn't stay in just this place of homeostasis, this place of I'm just there. I don't know if any of you are feeling that way right now, where you just feel like I'm just here. I'm not that negative. I'm neither positive. I'm just here, like a block. So I wanted to leave you with some of the things that I use to help me to move from those places, those zones of negativity. And now how do you move towards that other side, which is positive? So I had to remember the first thing I needed to do was always self-work. What is it that I need to do within myself so that I can start identifying what exactly did positivity look like to me? I had to know, well, did I want to be this happy, cheery person? Did I want to be, always thinking good thoughts? I didn't want to be this ridiculous person walking around with a big smile on my face that was fake. But I know inside I needed to start to learn some things that would allow me to really start approaching life differently. The one thing I noticed was when I had a positive mindset, more positive would come. What I would notice specifically was when I shifted my mindset towards autism and I did the personal work and I started to realize that I couldn't stay with this tool of autism being something being dawned on me like the worst thing ever. I had to start learning that this child, my child, is a gift. And I started to look for the things that he was doing better or he was doing different and that he had for his strengths. So if these were his strengths, why not look at that as a space of positive instead of looking at the things that he could not do? So this was some of the work that I started to do with myself, but the key really was me. It was how I wanted to feel with parenting. I looked back at it and I realized that parenting at the beginning was not so easy. Like, I don't know if you remember when we had to get up early in the morning and I was saying to myself, they say every 2 hours it's time for breastfeeding. And I'm like, but I just put my head down to sleep and here we go. It's time to get up and do breastfeeding again. That wasn't 2 hours. It felt like just an hour because there's the half an hour to prepare, the half an hour to get them ready. By the time they're finished drinking for that, half an hour and you put them down, it's like an hour goes by and it's time to do that again. So that part of parenting was not fun. And I didn't want to get stuck in only thinking of what was not fun. And when I noticed that he was doing things differently and I was comparing him to everyone else, it made parenting not fun. So I had to shift my mindset. I had to start doing the work within myself to realize that what does it look like for me to be in this situation of parenting, or it could be a job, or it can be, starting a business. What does it feel like and what do I want it to feel like within myself? So that began my first step, my first technique, strategy towards subscribing to positivity. First, looking to how is it do I want to feel? And what can I do to shift my feelings from that place of doom where everything was on me, where I felt like the world was on my shoulders, where literally I felt dark, to now coming to a space of light. And light felt good. Light felt good on the outside. It felt good on the inside. It felt good with the responses I was getting. And it felt good with, when I was with myself during those quiet moments. Another thing I had to do was I had to begin to shift the things that I was saying. I actually had to create a list of shifters. I call them shifters. And with my shifters, there are things that I use when immediate things happen in life, because I don't want you to think that I'm telling you that bad doesn't happen. Bad is going to happen. Things you don't expect is going to happen. The unexpected, the derailment off of where you were going, I came home and the worst is upon the worst. But when those things are happening, how do we shift out of that? How do we not allow that to continuously build up and take us to a space of where we don't want to be? Like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, this is not the best space for where you want to be in your life. I had to create a list of shifters. And what my shifters look like, it looked like I can be on a beach with a pina colada in my hands every single day. That's my visual. That's where I am. When things start to go awry, when the unexpected starts to happen, when Zachary starts to have his breakdown, immediately I start to think, okay, on the beach, pina colada in my hand, I can see it, I can feel it, shucks, I can even taste it. This is the moment that I'm starting to shift myself out of whatever is happening at that moment. So take some time out and create your list of shifters. Use visuals. A lot of people use affirmations. I like affirmations because it helps me to take back my power. And the affirmations that I use go with I am. And this may come from the training with Motivating the Masses, my personal development training, me receiving my own coaching. I like phrasing I am with where I want to be. I am power. I am joy. I am light. And when I own those things, when I say those things, even when I'm not quite feeling it, right? Even when I'm not quite at that place of believing it. I say it until I begin to feel that shift towards it. So use your visualizations, use your words, and then sometimes you have to physically remove yourself and place yourself into lights. Another thing I do is sometimes when it's really, really gloomy on the outside, like outside, you look outside and it looks like dark, dreary, the worst. I'm not sure if many of us like those days. I know I don't. And I realize that the weather plays a huge effect on my mood. I've noticed that for Zachary as an autism parent. I've noticed that for me. I've noticed that for my clients, that when you have a physical environment, outside is full of drear, of days of continuously gloom, snow, rain, it affects your mood. It affects how you feel. So I would put on the brightest color. Yes, I would put on yellow, and I would put on pink, and I would put on all these vibrant colors so that I can physically feel that visual shift that's happening around me. And I can create a shift out of the environmental or the gloom that is around me in terms of weather. So wearing light things, I have a bracelet, and these bracelets I will wear on my hands, and they will be something visual that sometimes I just look at it and it makes me smile. I have a client that told me that she has her nails done, and when she looks at her nails, they make her smile. She actually makes her nails into something that is a visual reminder of where they want to be for subscribing to positivity. So use some of these strategies, think which one will work best for you, and start subscribing to where you want to feel and be. Subscribe yourself to positivity. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, because this was definitely one that had to jolted me out of reality, was shifting my environment in terms of people who I surrounded myself with. So now I spoke about the other end when I spoke about unsubscribing from negativity, where I had to remove myself from marriages, relationships, conversations with my mom or other really close people who I really love and admire, but it was just not a good space for me to be around. If you're going to remove yourself from that, then you want to put yourself around with the people who have that light about them. It's something in which they don't have to say much. They just have to just be, and they just make you feel good. I've been told before that I could just come into a room and I don't have to say much, and they can feel my light. Now, that didn't take overnight to happen. Trust me, I went through a lot of work working on how to create this light. And that light I spoke about in some of the examples earlier. But when you listen to things like this podcast, make sure you're subscribed, because you're going to want to make sure you get the rest. There's going to be other episodes that are going to help you to shift through those moments as we talk about meditation. And I'm going to motivate you through this, explaining to you what happens with me and how I've helped other people. So stay tuned, okay? Along with this podcast, create a list of other podcasts or other shows or other things that you need to listen into your ears that will help you to shift out of things. So as an audiologist, I'm super, super big into listening. Audio is the epitome for me. Like, what you hear resonates throughout your system as waveforms. Let me not get too geeky with you, because I can take this all the way geek time to the geekdom level, right? But just know that the sound you hear resonates through the body. The sounds that you're hearing with me now, when you hear my meditation track, you're going to see how it resonates through your system, and it can help you to shift from feeling negative into moving towards light, moving towards that space where you want to be, subscribing back to positivity. So besides things that we're going to listen to, we also want to have control, or we want to be around people that are lights. And I mentioned it before, how Some people choose to be around me. Sometimes I am not the light because I'm going through moments, and I'll be so real. Like I will be dealing with Zachary going through an airport, and my mom is having her concerns, and friends are texting, and everyone is wanting something from me at that moment. And I am that moment not light. I'm far away from light as possible. But when I start to recognize it within myself, and this is the part where I really want you to tap into, that you have to be able to see and feel what feels negative in your soul, in your spirit, and then what feels positive, and how do you get yourself towards that. And sometimes it's just by being around that circle, that space, the group of girlfriends. I got my girlfriends that can hold me down when I'm feeling array. I have places I can go. I have people I can call. I have a list of those shifters that I use in my life continuously. And I use my mom too, because she's a praying woman. So when I start going off a array, even though I spoke about negative times, that woman can pray me back into positivity, because she takes me back to that stage of gratitude. And once you're in gratitude, you can't go anywhere else but staying in the light. The last thing I did for myself, and I'll explain to you how that happened, was I got coaching. Like, I had to realize that I couldn't do it within my immediate circle. Like, they were good for basics, but for the really, 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 really tough things, I needed a coach to help me through that. I needed to learn the tools and the techniques, some of what I'm sharing with you now, but there's so much more into getting to how to keep this place of light. So don't discredit coaching because you don't know about it. A lot of us, I didn't know about it before either. All I knew about was going to school, getting a degree, going to make money. I didn't realize that there were people out there that had the capacity to help me to learn the tools and techniques to get through these moments that are increasingly challenging, because it's called #life. So see within yourself, who do you need to be around? What do you need to listen? And do you need a coach? And if you do, definitely look into my website. I do have coaching positions for a selected few if we are in alignment. You can go to www.dralistitch.com. If it's not me, then find someone else that resonates well with you, that this is where you need to help you to take you towards your next best self. Now, that is subscribing to positivity. I want to thank you for just hanging out with me today and listening to this. I want to thank you for allowing me to fill your ears with joy and stories of my life. And thank you for subscribing to Dr. Ali Griffith Show, either on Apple, Spotify, or PodBean. I'm still learning this, y'all. And also for sharing this with your friends. So definitely subscribe, definitely rate it and review it, and then go out there and share this with people out there, because people don't know what they don't know. So if they don't know it, then they'll stay stuck with where they are. And you, my dear, you can make a difference between a day being full of gloom and a day having possibilities of better. Thank you for joining the Dr. Ali Griffith Show. Now go out there and be amazing in your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. I want to thank the Much Better Space for letting me record today in their facility, and definitely follow them at wearemuchdifferent.com.